And I'm back with another exciting video which outlines how to derive more value from your Doors Classic requirements. As you might remember, in one of my earlier videos, I demonstrated how it was possible to report on your Doors data via dashboard widgets and reports. With that being said, in this video, we'll walk through how to integrate Doors 9 with the Lifecycle Query Engine, also referred to as the LQE. The LQE is a data source which is leveraged by Report Builder and Engineering Insights to create widgets, visualizations, and reports which can be put on our dashboards. There are 3 high-level steps required to configure this integration, and in this video I will demonstrate how to complete all of these steps. And now let's get started. Alrighty then. We first want to go and update the Doors Web Access festival.xml file with additional information. I copied this information from the Doors online documentation. In addition, as a prerequisite before updating the XML file, I created a username and password for the LQE. And on line 17, I've included a link to the documentation which provides additional details relating to the updates we're about to make to the festival.xml file. Without further ado, I'll copy the snippet I got from the documentation. Then I'll go and paste it into the festival.xml file, then save it. And now that we've made those updates, we need to restart Doors Web Access to pick up these changes. Once DWA is back up and running as expected, I'm going to log in using the LQE username and password, which was included in the XML we added to the festival file. If we're not able to log in using this username and password, then that means either the festival file and or the LQE user is not configured correctly. And look at that, success. We're able to log into Doors Web Access using the LQE user. Now that DWA is working as expected, I'm going to navigate to the Doors client and set the minimum client version value to be 9.7.2.3. The reason why I'm doing this is because in 9.7.2.3, it's possible to restrict reporting to a specific Doors 9 project, and I want to take advantage of this new feature. Next, I'm going to create a local key for the LQE to use when attempting to get the Doors data. This local key information needs to match the entries we put in the festival.xml file. And later, we're going to use this information when configuring the Doors data source in the LQE application. After the local key has been created, we then need to define which Doors projects, folders, and modules are available for reporting via the LQE. This can be accomplished by configuring a working set. The working set is helpful for defining relevant data for reporting. Once the working set has been created, we then want to initialize the TRS, and then as the final step, we will define our attribute mappings. By defining these attribute mappings, it helps to ensure we have consistent reporting of attributes across all modules. In this example, I will choose the status attribute. It's important to ensure our attributes have URI values defined because external applications, such as the LQE and Report Builder, use the URI values to identify equivalent attributes across modules. Once the mappings have been created, we will then want to publish them. Now that the Doors configuration steps are completed, let's head over to the LQE and create a Doors data source. On the LQE Data Sources page, we'll want to click on the Add Data Source button, and on the Add Data Source window, select the radio button for Root Services URL, and then enter the value consisting of your Doors Web Access hostname and port number, followed by /DWA/public/root services. Notice that we're presented with 2 different TRS feed URIs to choose from. We want to select the URI ending in TRS2 and then click the Next button. On the following window, let's enter the values for the consumer key and consumer secret. These values should be identical to the same values we put in the festival.xml file a few minutes earlier. And after entering the values, let's now test the connection. Bang! We made a connection. As outlined in the documentation, we need to change the number of threads from 2 to 1 and then click the Finish button. Boom! There is our newly created Doors 9 data source in the LQE. While we wait for the initial indexing of the data source to complete, let's add the vocabularies for the Doors 9 attributes and link types to the LQE. To add the vocabularies, simply click on the Add Vocabulary button and then enter the URL for the doors namespace. I'm going to add 2 doors namespace URLs to the LQE vocabularies, one for custom attributes, and then a second namespace for link types. And the format for these URLs will be your Doors Web Access hostname and port number, followed by /DWA /NS, and then / either attributes or link types. Now that the vocabularies have been added to the LQE, let's check on the status of the data source being indexed. Sure enough, it now shows as up to date. Let's now navigate to the permissions section in LQE, click on the newly created Doors 9 index, and then grant everyone access to this Doors 9 data source. And now as a final step, let's confirm the integration is working correctly by creating a simple report in Report Builder. When navigating the Report Builder, let's build a report. We obviously want to change the data source to be the Lifecycle Query Engine because that's what this video is all about. Continuing on, we can see our doors projects displayed in the list of projects we can report against. This is that new feature I mentioned earlier about being able to report on individual doors projects. So I'll keep it simple and I'll only select the Adaptive Cruise Control project. Next, I'll choose the artifact type of doors requirement, and then continue on to the Format Results tab, where I will add the status attribute. If for some reason the attribute is not displayed in the list of attributes to choose from, I would recommend refreshing the LQE data source via the Report Builder admin page. Before running the report, let's give it a name of Doors Requirement Status. And there you have it. Doors 9 requirements and attributes are being reported against using the Lifecycle Query Engine in Report Builder. In my next videos, I plan to demonstrate how we can take this data and put it into magical charts and visualizations, which can be displayed on our dashboards. Also, don't be afraid to subscribe to this channel or leave me any comments. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time.